A Moment of Friction is a modern approach to a classic arcade-style game. From concept to design, and all throughout development, our focus was on providing the player with an exciting and fun experience that is both challenging and rewarding. Fast-paced gameplay, freedom of movement, and plenty of replayability made this all possible, allowing us to engage and immerse players within a moment of friction. Not only were we able to create an amazing work of art, we were also able to expand our knowledge, strengthen our skills, and learn new tricks. I also created the entire UI, crafting the appropriate assets, importing them, and finally implementing them. The menu system, while basic, is very functional, intuitive, and clean, and allows players to navigate quickly and precisely without any confusion. The tutorial was another major focus of mine. From start to finish, the tutorial guides the player through the various mechanics and situations they'll use and encounter throughout the game. It took a great deal of time and extreme attention to detail, ensuring that it was paced right, instructed the player clearly, and provided an approach that would introduce mechanics, allow the player to practice them, and then grant the player a certain mastery over each individual mechanic. All in all, I've learned quite a bit, and I've expanded my skill set greatly, preparing me for future projects and big accomplishments.
Alright, my name is Alex Macon. What I worked on throughout the last 4 months on A Moment of Friction was a lot of the behind the scenes things. I created the lives mechanic, I wrote most of the HUD script, like drawing the material for our lives images, the timer, the clock images that goes with it, among other things, like the bar graph that shows our speed and dilation meter. I helped out a lot with level flow and playtesting and made sure that I was able to help out as much as I could for the team. One thing I learned throughout the process is that it's very easy to aim outside of scope. What I would recommend is to start small and then snowball your game from a general idea. A Moment of Friction turned out differently than it looked when we first started, but I'm pretty pleased with the outcome. I learned a lot about scripting and programming in general during this development cycle, and I look forward to working on another one soon.
Hello, I'm Materio, level designer for A Moment of Friction. Creating an arcade-like feel was a goal for this game. So when creating levels, I tried to capture the essence of being in an arcade, a kind of place where people gather to display their skills through iteration and practice. So to recreate some of that same feeling, the levels are designed with multiple playthroughs in mind. The majority of people won't get the best possible time or score on their first run, just like most people won't see the kill screen on Pac-Man on their first quarter. They're designed with multiple paths for each iteration of play. The first path is the most obvious intended path, the one that most players will take their very first time. The other paths reveal themselves the better players get at both the levels and using the mechanics. Skipping whole sections by performing tricky jumps, getting on top of structures, and finding the best places to boost to save the maximum amount of time are examples of this process. A huge goal of mine was to make sure that all the levels have a very open feel, to allow players to be creative in how they tackle each level in their own personal way during each play session.
I enjoyed this project a lot. Some of the main things that I had really enjoyed while playing was obviously the gameplay. It was really cool, getting to really dive into movement mechanics and being able to jump and slide and slow down time and speed up and traverse the environment that is laid out in front of you as though it's an arcade puzzle. We took this idea, kind of from like a tribe's idea, where they got the skiing, and we made it our own. We added our flair to it and allowed the player to traverse the terrain in pretty much any way they want to, give them a little bit of freedom of movement. However they wanted to get from point A to point B was kind of their deal, as long as they used the mechanics we gave to them, such as the boosts or the time dilation is what we call it, where you slow down time. So thank you guys for watching our post-mortem for AMOF, and this is A Moment of Friction. Peace out.